So like I said in my other video, I had a little trouble with my cooler because it was running on strictly 12 volt. It was making my converter over there, every time it kick on, the fan on it would kick on. So just going to make this to where I can run 12 volt when I'm running down the road to keep the cooler cool, and then when we get to a place that has hookups, then we can switch over to this wire right here, which is going to be the 110 that converts to 12 volt. And so what I'm going to do is I'm running a cord down through under the bed and across over to this far side where my old refrigerator used to be. I've actually got a plug that's up inside of there. I'm going to plug that up. I'm going to leave that hooked up all the time. I thought about putting a switch on it, but I think I'm just going to let it run because most of the time we'll be using that anyway. So I'm going to secure those cords in place, and I'll show you what I've got set up here for do that. Over here on this side, I've got an extra cord. I just bought this Harbor Freight. It's a little short 10-foot electrical cord. I'm going to use that, and luckily my cargo bin is going to help me out here. And go inside the cargo bin. You can see, I'm not sure if you can see it or not, there's a hole that goes right through there to that where that old refrigerator used to be. It has the toilet in there now, so we're going to go through that, and we're going to weed that down through right through here over to where that cooler sits up inside there. And I'm going to use some little staples to actually hold that cord in place so it won't get hung up with any of this gear. So I've got that cord coming across, and it's going underneath where my commode is, up to this plug that's back up inside of here. Now that's a plug I added when I put in my original 110 refrigerator in this hole. So I've got that hooked up, and then got the extension cord plugged in. It's running through the hole here into my cargo hole, and then I'll show you where it goes from there. Now where I showed you where that refrigerator is, I plugged it in inside of there, and it came through this hole here. And I've gathered up an extra cord I've got, but that cord actually runs up right here and connects in with the main wire here. Got it tacked on here, and it runs up this front wall here and all the way out to where the refrigerator sits up in that hole right down through there at the end. And so try to tie this up as neat as I can, because this is my cargo area and I don't want to pull anything loose. I still have my cell phone stuff in here for the actual WeBoost, and I haven't really figured out how and when I'm going to get that all hooked up, so I'm just kind of got it laid in here for right now. But anyway, that's how I'm going to get power up to the refrigerator to make it 110 or actually 115 and 12 volt. So the way this is going to work is I've run all those cords around. Basically I've got these labeled so it's hard to see or not. This is my 12 volt. It's all both 12 volt coming out here, but it's what it's hooked to. So this is what's hooked up to the 12 volt system. And then this one's labeled with 120 volt. And like I say, it is 12 volt after the converter box right there. And like I say, depending on which one I want, I'll plug it in. And like I say, when we get to a campsite, I'll swap this one out. It's hooked to the battery, and I'll hook it to this one that's hooked to the 120 volt. And so hopefully that'll keep that fan from running constantly where I don't have to hear it at night, and that'll fix that problem. So that's all I got on this particular fix. Is just a simple little wire that I had to run. It was a little more complicated than I thought because you have to secure everything down. So